So pardon me if I have any long pauses. My father was known to many as Al Sheen. His birth name was actually Sun Waimun. Wyman Sheen was actually an English translation on his birth certificate in Hong Kong. Don't ask me why, you need to translate it because Wyman Sheen doesn't mean anything in English either. Al moved to the United States when he was 17. When I was young, I knew he immigrated here. He would tell me I moved from Hong Kong. And as a kid, I always pictured him coming over on a boat. I think I heard too many immigrant jokes, because he definitely came on airplanes. Or maybe I thought he was so old that they didn't have planes back then. He really moved to this country with nothing but the clothes on his back. Principally because the airline lost all of his luggage. They gave him a $400 voucher. But he actually came from a somewhat wealthy family in Hong Kong. But Dad wanted to do things his own way, and so he did. For those of you who know him, that makes a ton of sense. Al graduated from Lansing Catholic Center High School and continued his academic career at the University of Toledo, where he received his Bachelor's of Science in Pharmacy. He would also attend Ohio State University and receive his Master's in Business Administration. I'm sure that's how it read on his resume, but those words don't speak to the hard work and determination inside my father. He once told me a story when he was so poor, he came down to what he described as his last 21 cents. And he said he sat and he stared at that money in his hand and he cried alone. He promised to himself that he would never let that happen again, and he didn't. Al would have a successful career in pharmacy. He worked for Ohio Health for 25 years, from 1987 until he was literally too sick to perform his responsibilities. My dad was driven to work in a way that few of us, including myself, will ever understand. In 1997, my dad would marry Daisy. My dad actually loved to gamble, but I can assure you that this was the luckiest day of his life. Daisy, you were the best wife my father could have asked for. I would tell you how much I appreciate you, but I would not be able to get those words out in front of all of these people.
Thank you.
As you can imagine, I, like any son, want to remember the best of my father, but Al wasn't anything particularly praiseworthy. He did not fight in a winning war. He never met the president. He never won a state championship. But what my father did do was keep his promises, particularly to me and my brother Greg. My father said it was going to be done. It was. My dad was not too fond of excuses. Too often we make promises, little and big, that we do not honor. A promise to your dad, a promise to yourself. It becomes easy to say, I'll get to it, or tomorrow. I want to remember my father and the promises he kept to me. And I want you to remember the promises you have made. Many of you have expressed your condolences to me and my family and have asked if there's anything you can do for us. There is something you can do. There is something you should do for yourself. Take a promise in your life, one that you have been putting off, and keep it. Fix that ceiling fan, get the oil changed, send the letter, quit smoking. I shared this message in a group I created on Facebook and a website called Reddit on Wednesday of last week. Today that page has over 26,000 views. I want to read a post or two I've received from these strangers. I almost broke a promise to my wife to accompany to her doctor's appointment this coming Monday. I made this promise a few weeks ago, and I thought my work schedule would be set in a way that would allow me to do this. Well, something screwed up on the project, and it wasn't my fault, and I told my wife I couldn't be with her the whole time because I had to get to work. This post made me realize I need to put my priorities in order. I'm going to work this weekend, and after her doctor's appointment, to be at the right point in the project for Tuesday morning. I break promises all the time, mainly to myself, but sometimes to others. And always said is not important, and I'll get to it later. I need to stop doing that. Thank you for this page. I'm going to quit smoking tonight after performing the concert. I put it off, quit for weeks, have an occasional smoke a week, quit again. I seem to do all right for a while and just fall off the wagon. I'm not a heavy smoker, but that's just an excuse I tell myself as well. After this concert, I'm done, and that is a promise to myself. I want my father's memory to help you and others, so I have a favor to ask all of you. I've created these cards, and all they say on there is because I said I would, the name of the group I've made. The purpose of this card is relatively simple. Think of a promise you've been holding off to somebody and write it on the card. Give the promise to that person that you made the promise to. Fulfill that promise, and when you're done, get your card back. Yesterday I left 3 of these cards with my father. I will not be getting them back. But I will keep my word, as I said I would. I don't know if you've noticed, but I look something like my dad. When I wake up in the morning and I see him when I brush my teeth, I don't need a reminder, but these cards can help remind you to keep your promises. Some of my friends will be passing out cards. Thank you very much.